Years ago, a friend of mine introduced me to a property in Jamaica. The property was about maybe, I would say, 50 to 60 acres of green land with a beautiful river. My first initial thought was, wow, how does one acquire such beauty and know nothing about farming? I was like, you know what, I would just buy this land because of the river. So we purchased the land, of course, because of the river. So days later, I started to ask the community, you know, what's on this property? What is this farm about, you know? They said, well, Mr. Marley, you have coffee. I said, coffee? I said, coffee like oil, you mean? And they said, yes, Mr. Marley, not only do you have coffee, but you have Blue Mountain coffee. I said, well, all right then. Well, I guess we're gonna start farming coffee. So we started to really learn and get the knowledge about coffee. And my first initial concept was, if I'm going to be involved in any type of farming, whether it's coffee, vegetation, fruits and vegetables, you know, just farming in general, it has to be organic. So I instructed the farmers never to use any chemical on the land. Their first thing was to me was, Mr. Marley, that can't work. I said, what you mean that can't work? No, you won't get the yielding that you want. I said, well, it's not about the yielding for me. It's more about your life. So if you want to continue working for me for a long term, you can't use any chemicals because I want you to be around. So I convinced them to change what they've been doing for so many years, so many generations, and using chemicals to be a part of my movement and our movement as a Marley family, and started to go into the organic principles, which we call the ITAL, you know. So I was able to convince guys more knowledgeable than me about farming. They've been farming coffee for how many years? So I was able to convince them that, listen man, if it's not organic, I don't want to be nothing to do with it. And the next thing I'm going to do is cut every tree down because I don't want you on my property, because I don't need the chemicals. I don't need that stuff. You know, I'm a Rastafarian. I don't eat chemicals, you know what I mean? So they chose to go my way. And that's why today now our farmers, you know, growing in a sustainable way, that when I go to the community, I can see the farmers joyful and happy, because not only am I happy, they're happy because they're building their community as well as putting their kids in school and growing their families, you know, feeding them and then taking care of the land, you know, which is great for us. So that's what I'm most proud of, is how we got into coffee and why we got into coffee, and the reason we'll continue to be involved in coffee, because coffee to me is my vehicle to a way I can help people, you know, and build a community and the lifestyle, you know, and the Marley lifestyle, which is you have to give to receive. So we're giving a helping hand, and or we choose to form, you know, a coffee entity, and like you know, it's JAMMIN Corp.